the Pagani Factory. Oh my gosh, I am so excited right now. This is an all new building. Oh my gosh, absolutely spectacular.
I hope you are having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Parker Nierenstein and this is Vehicle Virgins. We are on Gumball 3000 and we have just stopped at the brand new Pagani facility. This thing is so remarkable that I decided I had to split this up into a separate vlog from the day of Gumball 3000. We've got wires everywhere. The building itself, the architecture is absolutely immaculate, and I've heard the inside of the building and all of its amenities are as cool and finely crafted as the Wyras and the Zondas themselves. Let's check it out. We have just entered the Pagani building. Look at that beautiful Wyra opened up over there, and just the architecture in general of this building. I mean, look at this. The merchandise stand is made of carbon fiber. How Pagani is that? And according to JWW over here, there's some pretty cool features.
So I'm gonna leave you to discover the bathroom, hopefully.
Oh, okay.
It is actually through there.
I'm gonna film in the bathroom.
But, like, the building, for me, is so, like, in tune with the ethos of the brand.
That right there.
Look at the spotlights.
Oh my gosh.
They're carbon backed.
Guys,
headlights.
That looks kind of like the speaker system in the Wyra, but they are spotlights.
That's incredible. And all of these tiny details run throughout the whole.
I've been complimenting the building a lot, and as it turns out, Horatio and his two sons are actually the people responsible for this building's design. Notice a whole bunch of truss structures, learned a ton about that in engineering. He designed a lot of this based on the design of the Eiffel Tower, and actually, these components look very similar, and that's not a coincidence, to some of the suspension geometry of the Wyra. Look at that, guys. It's a 722 Sterling Moss Edition smart car. We even have a go-kart Pagani, a little kids Pagani, and then a Wyra and another kids Pagani. Look at this display, guys. This is absolutely incredible. From Wyras to Zondas. Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like it.
Technology introduced into this single-seater over here, which is probably the first Pagani ever made, was then later applied into the development of the Zonda project, so back to late 90s. So this was...
That's one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
How cool is that?
This looks like something that, with a mechanical engineering degree myself, that over time I could build, and then for him to have taken this to these absolute mechanical masterpieces and beautiful artwork is just beyond me. But that's so cool to see the progression, guys.
So this is the second Zonda ever made.
Wow.
And we called it La Nonna, so the granny. And we just restored it, and now it's being put into here on display.
How many miles or kilometers?
Oh, well, for sure more than 500,000 kilometers.
Oh my god.
That's a well-used Pagani.
This is got to be one of the coolest cars in the history of the automotive world. 500,000 kilometers in a Pagani. And then they fully restored it.
Combines features from different versions of Zonda, because this one was used to develop all different versions that came later.
What I love so much about this company is, as you can see, it was a man with a dream. He built this car and this enabled him to get in touch with some people that eventually ended up with him with a job at Lamborghini. Then he pioneered carbon fiber. If you look at the carbon fiber technology and the weaves in something like an all-carbon Centenario or an all-carbon Lamborghini Aventador SVJ that's coming out, you can see some of the artistry, but honestly, the best carbon fiber in the world is on these Zondas and Huayras. If you take a close look at the weave, check this out. This is the development car. Look how good the carbon fiber is. I mean, that is just unbelievably spectacular. And the beautiful thing is when the carbon fiber is exposed, unlike some cars that paint over the carbon fiber, you have to make sure that all the panels align perfectly so the weaves come together at a point between the panels. Now, I know a lot of people say, how many Zondas can you possibly make? But the one cool thing about that is because they made so many iterations, you can have a completely unique Pagani if you have the ability to do so. Certainly ones in the museum themselves you're not able to buy, but you can have something that nobody else has in the world. And with a V12 like that and a manual transmission, I'm down. Behind me are two of my favorite cars of all time. This is a Cinque Roadster. They only made 5 coupes and 5 roadsters. This is actually the first car Pagani made, and I believe anyone made, using carbo titanium in the monocoque, even stronger and even lighter than just using carbon fiber. Now behind that might be my actual favorite car of all time, the Zonda R. If I had the most money in the world, somehow I won the lottery, I would buy one of these and do whatever it took to convert it to be road legal, or I'd just drive it on the road anyways, to be honest, and try to lift it up a bit so I didn't mess up the beautiful front carbon fiber splitter. This sounds so menacing, it's so fast and so beautiful yet sinister at the same time. You can't not love this thing. All right, guys, I get to open one of my favorite cars in the world, and this speaks volumes to the impressiveness of this vehicle. All I'm about to do is just open the door, yet this is like a remarkable, memorable experience for me. And that door literally weighs absolutely nothing. And the fact that the race car, obviously, they've stripped a lot of the things out of the interior. It's still beautiful in here. We still have the Italian flag livery on the seats and all the metal elements on the steering wheel. And look at that. Is that the tachometer on the wheel itself? See, it's little design elements like that that are just unbelievably spectacular. And I'm sure there's a digital display above it for a little more accurate reading, but wow. Behind me is the Zonda F Roadster. I actually vividly remember when Top Gear tested the Zonda F on their test track. Some special data about this car is it's actually one of the first cars of all time to be able to be converted from left-hand drive to right-hand drive. A lot of hypercars and supercars today only come in one form, left-hand drive as standard. The fact that they could convert it for an English market or Australian or Japanese market is pretty spectacular. Now, this is the Cinque Roadster, as I was talking about the carbo titanium. Let's take a look at what that weave actually looks like. Check that out. Well, it's debatable whether it's as pretty or not as the raw carbon fiber. I'm gonna go with no. It's definitely more structurally sound and lighter weight. And of course, it looks beautiful as well. And look at the interior. I have actually never looked fully at the interior of one of these. That beautiful stitched leather and gorgeous dash. Oh my gosh. And look, at that roof snorkel. I mean, that's gotta sound absolutely crazy. When I was in Alejandro's 675 LT with the roof scoop, and then I reviewed one without the roof scoop, the difference between the two in terms of sound was absolutely night and day. And the LT roof scoop does not look like that. This is one of the coolest things I've seen so far. So obviously the development for a smaller car company, it takes a while. The Huayra took 7 years to develop, but we can actually go through the different stages of the... Were you photobombing? So we can actually see the different stages of design from the first model ever created of the Huayra to the full production car. Check this out. Look at this model. This is the original design for the Huayra. You can see a lot of similar design elements for the car itself in the front here and in the rear. And then now it's really starting to look like a new Huayra. Once again. And then we progress down the line. To the final production car. Look familiar? Well, we've got one right there.
Here we have the Pagani Huayra Coupe, the one that we presented back in 2011, and it's the only car that in the only year 2012 won the Three Most Important Awards as Car of the Year. So Evo Magazine, Top Gear, and Car Magazine.
Wow.
Basically, it looks like a typical Italian square, not actually a sort of a standard workshop, you know.
So these are the Huayra Roadster chassis. Look at those carbon fiber monocoque.
So all the guys which are now on lunchtime, they build one car at a time. So you can see that here we have a much bigger space compared to the old factory, but it's still kept very exclusive.
And how long would it take?
Time?
Oh, we are the same person. Okay.
It's like 4 months, I'd say.
Wow, that's not bad actually.
But then there's a waiting list, so you have to wait something like 12 months to get one.
That's still not bad.
Still,
It's not
that's
bad.
not bad
It's not
actually.
bad.
Because there was a
12
time
months.
when you were like 2 years,
2
right?
years.
Yeah, wow.
So this is another dream moment of mine. Remember when I reviewed recently the Countach 25th anniversary, and I mentioned that Pagani was responsible for a lot of the updates, most of the design updates for that car in comparison to the normal one. Well, this is his personal car from when he worked at Lamborghini, and it's sitting right there. Now next to it is a wooden model of the Pagani Huayra that still has original notes from Horatio himself all over the car. It's 1-to-1 scale, and it looks beautiful even though it's made out of wood. Just look at this. It's a work of art and it's made out of wood. We've got notes all over it. I wish I could read Italian, so I'll need some help from my Italian subscribers. There's carbon fiber. The lights are even installed. It's got the actual wheels on it, but there's nothing inside. It doesn't have an actual interior. Look how beautiful it looks next to the just as wild Lamborghini Countach. I have never ever gotten to see the inner workings of a Pagani quite like this, and I don't know if I ever will again, but just look at how beautiful all the components are with the body panels off. Every single component on this thing, while it was an evolution of the Zonda, is new. And not only is it functional, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you don't need a titanium exhaust with a giant, beautiful blue piece here.
Yeah,
this doesn't need to be gold, but
Yeah, you do.
for us it needs
Look
to
at
be.
this.
It's unbelievable. Look at the engine bay. Yes, this is an AMG V12, but have you ever seen an AMG motor like that? Absolutely not.
I actually had the honor of visiting this place earlier on last year. I flew a friend's Pagani Zonda F from Dubai to Italy to this very destination for a service. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Anyway, we had a very similar tour, and one of the details that they pointed out to me was that the coilovers, the springs that wrap around the dampers, are sprayed with a metallic fleck. So it's not just like wrapped like any standard stuff, they even have a triple layer paint on the suspension It's ridiculous.
Remarkable.
Remarkable.
And part of the production of this car is each individual vehicle comes with its own tray that's tailor-made to the vehicle that's being built. Look at all the components, from the beautiful skeletonized shifter to different logos, and down here we've got the steering wheel cover. That is just unbelievable. Don't worry guys, I've been told this is allowed. I'm not just picking it up off the tray, but just look at that.
I've just been told there are over 10,000 individual components that go into building a Huayra, and that's counting the engine, which you could break down into nearly infinite components as just one. And still, look at the attention to detail. This is a titanium bolt, which I actually have on the Anarchy wheels on my Lamborghini Huracan, and I remember picking one of these up at the HRE facility going, this feels almost lighter than air, yet it's a sturdy bolt that can hold the wheels on my car at 200 miles an hour. And it also, of course, are you surprised, has a Pagani logo on the bolt itself. Clearly, I'm not one to show food in my vlogs, shout out Stradman though, but look at this display, I just had to show it. Everything here is just remarkable, from the cars to the food to the bathroom sink made of carbon fiber. Well guys, it's been an absolute dream come true checking out the Pagani Factory. I have always wanted to be here and to get that type of exclusive tour with an excellent array of knowledge, and also to be able to share that with you guys. I hope you found this awesome and informative like I did. I mean, I'm gonna remember this visit for the rest of my life. If you're not subscribed yet, we have even crazier, well, I don't know if it gets too much crazier than this, but epic content coming on Gumball 3000, so smash that subscribe button, click the notification bell, give this video a big thumbs up, and as always, I look forward to seeing you next video.